of hormones, a lot of endocrine system, different hormones secreted by different cells or different places. They're highly affecting each little step here. Okay, and then later on we have fertilization of the oocyte, and then therefore cause the pregnancy, and then after pregnancy we have to give birth to the baby, which is a parturition, which is also called the laboring. And then lastly, I will introduce some hormonal control about lactation of the mother to the baby. Okay, so for the ovarian cycle, can you hear me clearly? Let me check my network first, because when I'm sharing or giving the lecture, actually I cannot see the chat room. So if you find that you cannot hear me or what, you can just switch on your microphone and let me know. Okay, let me check my network. Okay, correct. Let's continue. So ovarian cycle, inside, of course, the most important thing is oocyte. But where the oocyte comes from, before they develop into oocyte, actually they are the oogonia or oogonia. Where's my pen? Oogonia. And then we say that these oogonia are actually the germ cells. Sorry for the drawing. The germ cells, okay? Germ cells, they're still diploid. That means for human being, there's still 23 pairs of chromosome, okay? They're diploid, and these are the oogonia when the baby girl is still embryo. So during the embryonic development, throughout the whole period of time, the germ cells will just divide and divide and divide. So within the first 5 months of gestation, that means the embryo life of 5 months, within these 5 months, the ovaries contain about 6 to 7 million oogonia. That is a lot. However, when they are keeping on to develop and grow, we find that most of these oogonia will just die. And we describe the dying process apoptosis, the cell death. Okay, why do they need to be die? Why not just let them out? No, you cannot. Okay, for animals, for the mammals especially, the ovaries, even though at the very beginning the germ cells got a lot of number, but we cannot just keep every one of them, and then to bring it to the baby, to the fetus, and then to be within a female body, because this is consuming a lot of energy, okay, to keep the oogonia. So that's why we cannot have a large number without dying. So only those that are developing well, they will just continue to grow, and then but most of them will be selected out and then become apoptosis, undergoing apoptosis, just die naturally. So the remaining oogonia will start meiosis near the end of gestation. That means before the baby comes out from a mother, these oogonia will start doing meiosis. So before this, they keep on doing mitosis. Okay, keep on doing the normal cell division. So until now, the germ cells will start to undergoing meiosis. Therefore, we call these oogonia the primary oocytes. They are still diploid, okay, because they are not yet divided. They're just undergoing the meiosis very soon. So primary oocytes. So the ovaries of a newborn girl contain 2 million oocytes, which is still a high number, and each is contained in the ovarian follicle to be protected. At puberty, oocytes and follicles will be reduced to 400,000. So even smaller number. So most of them will be just disappear, degenerated, or just be dead through the apoptosis. Only about 400 at the end of these oocytes will ovulate during the woman's reproductive years. The rest will die. So you can calculate the number. 400 oocytes. Each month, oocytes means the egg, okay? 400 oocytes, and then each month for the girl, they have to release one oocyte, let's say, because sometimes due to the hormonal changes or the environmental change, they can release 2 oocytes at once. Okay, so you can calculate 400, and then each year 12 times. So actually, how many years could the woman do ovulation? Around how many? 30 years. Around 30 years. So let's say a girl who starts her first ovulation at, let's say, 12 years old. So at 12 years old plus 30 something years, that is before she have released all the oocytes, that is around 50 years old. Okay, so then we'll talk about the menopause. So within these 400 months, let's say, within these 400 months, we will find that the hormonal change or the hormonal effect has been quite large, that making some girls who cannot menstruate normally, that means the ovulation may got some problem, can also see some girls, they may have no problem at all throughout the whole reproductive years. So, and recently we find that many researchers has claimed that the puberty age has been earlier than before. So let's say 20 years ago, let's say, I don't know the number actually, but 20 years ago, let's say the average puberty age, when the girl starts her puberty, that is at the 14 years old. But then now we see that the girls start her puberty, the average maybe just 10 years old, 11 years old. So why it happens? Several reasons. It can be because better nutrients supplied. Second reason is can be because of some hormones in food. Okay, every day we don't know how many chemicals we encountered, so you cannot tell what have changed inside your body. So no. So this is something out of the topic. So oogenesis stops completely at the menopause. So oogenesis, the process is like this. This is a very good graph to showing you clearly the steps or the development of the oocyte. So at the very beginning, at the fetal life, talking about the before giving birth as a baby, the oogonia, they just keep on division. These are all mitosis division. Right? Mitotic division. They just divide themselves, keep on dividing, and then they keep a lot of stock there. Before giving birth, these oogonia will become primary oocyte. And this primary oocyte, when the baby girl is given birth, then it will start doing the first meiotic division. This lasts for many years, talking about around 10 years, let's say, okay, to gradually develop. So during the time they are still being, I would say that arrested within this period of time. But then when they go to the puberty, since the hormones secretion changes a lot, okay, puberty starts because of your hormonal change. So a lot of hormones start to be secreted. They all trigger the growth of the primary oocyte. And therefore, they can be triggered to become secondary oocyte. So what you should know is when one cell divided into two cells, usually they should be exactly the same size. But then for oocyte, they're different. Okay, after the primary oocyte for the first meiotic division, you can find out one cell is bigger, but another cells will be very small. And we call the small cells the polar body. So why do we need to do this? Because we want to keep all the nutrients, all the important things into one important cells. That is one important egg. So this egg is going to be fertilized. So that's why, and eventually become an embryo. So that's why we want this cell division just reserve all the nutrients into one cell only. So another part of cell, the polar body, will be destroyed. They can be just digested by some enzymes, right? Just degraded. And then the secondary oocyte will be kept and until ovulation. When the ovulation happens and fertilization happens, only when the fertilization happens, then this second meiotic division can be completed. Okay, and then this will become a zygote. So we'll learn it one by one. So first, the primary oocytes. We are talking about the oocyte when the baby girl is given birth. Okay, when they are not yet done with the first meiotic division, they will be just contained within the primary follicles. So we say that these are some immature primary follicles that we are talking about here. You know, the primary oocyte. So because they haven't done with the first meiotic division, so they were just kept inside the follicles. And then we say that these are all immature primary follicle, and then these follicles containing one oocyte, primary oocyte. And what we need to know is they only have single layer follicle cells. So immature, not yet grow. But gradually there will be FSH stimulation. This FSH is the follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, follicle stimulating